Today is all about a big blue ball. The more we click, the more money we get. That also moves us up the world ranking leaderboard. When we click the 100 times, we have $100 so we can buy our first atom. That's gonna earn $1 per second in the background while my lone tree floats around in orbit. I can also spend $10 to upgrade my double tapping power, so now I get $2 per click. I'm a little confused as to how we bought a single atom and it spawned a whole tree and island, and there's even a sailboat on there, but they're probably pretty lonely. Well, we've actually climbed 2,000 spots up the leaderboard, which is curious, so I think we're gonna do well for ourselves today. I'm gonna buy another atom or 2 or 3, and then we can at least make background money. Our default is 3 per second. I can obviously click faster than that, and that pushes us up to 15 per second, 20 per second. Then naturally we're gonna need to see what adding a molecule does for our planet. That adds an extra 6 per second and a yellow tree. By the end of this, we'll have a lush, beautiful planet. We're in the top 70%. And we still have a long ways to go according to this slider. And then when we're done with that, for $1.83 decillion, we buy the next planet, and then a planet after that, and after that, and after that one looks like a kitty cat. And kitty cats aside, we're gonna buy a molecule again, $732. We're at 15 per second. I feel like clicking is really gonna be my friend today, so we're gonna get to double tap power. But I do also have an auto clicker, which is gonna get us there quickly. We're allowed to click pretty fast on this one. The planet's even gonna explode. At least I hope it is. It's gonna pop like a grape. There's the 1500 we need, so double tap power, we now get 4 per click. So I'm gonna get even more clicking. It really is fun because an auto clicker can ruin a large majority of the games we play. This is also how you climb the leaderboard really quickly. And we have the $3,000 we need for Stardust. That's gonna add 26 per second. Well, it's not exactly a dense jungle yet, but we do have some lonely islands. We also need to find out if at a certain level these increase their boost. Level 10 is sometimes a good place to start, and nothing happened. But you just don't know if you don't try. We need another Stardust for another 26 per second. These are going to get really expensive really quickly, but I've got time if you do. Just sit back and relax. This is also somehow tied in with Solar Smash or something, because our planet keeps getting lasered by something, and I don't know why. We also have our first flowers. And the auto clicker puts us up to about 240 per second now, so we should be able to buy a meteor pretty soon, and that's obviously super good for a planet. A few amazingly fun minutes later, we have the $21,000 we need for meteor, and hopefully it crashes directly into the planet. Is it the green one? Where's the meteor? There's a few meteors. Well, we're up to 300 per second without me clicking at all, so I'm feeling pretty good. But we could have actually increased our tapping power quite a while ago, a few times over. We're getting 8 per click now, and that's going to go to 16 per click in just a moment. I got so excited with the numbers that I forgot to actually pay attention to what the numbers mean. 16 per second, and then once you get 16,000, we get even higher. We're making $1,000 a second already. These numbers are going to get really big. 16,000, well spent. Now we're up to 32 per click. And all we need is 37,000 to get double that, so we'll be up to 64, and that's going to take like 10 seconds. We're going to set the Earth for a little spin and then buy that. And our clicking now is up to 3,000 per second, so getting the human for 190,000 isn't really that expensive anymore. It's almost still worth it to buy more meteors, but I guess at the price that goes up, it's not worth it anymore. But even buying those few things gave us like a 15% increase to our earnings, which is pretty insane. Mostly it just looks like a planet having a seizure. We're also in the top 50% now, so we're perfectly average. We broke 190,000, so we get to buy our first human, which gives us a massive increase. We're now making $2,200 in the background. Where's my idiot? I paid for a human. I want to see him. I don't think we actually get a human on here yet. To be honest, planets are probably better off without those. But we've actually jumped all the way up to the top 40% suddenly, so we might hit the top of this leaderboard sooner than later, but I'm also using an auto clicker, so does it really count? $5,000 a second though. We're starting to make some pretty good money. There's so much going on that I'm starting to lose track of my cursor at times. It's very uncomfortable. Also, I'm going to be somewhat smart again. We're going to spend $90,000 to double my clicking power, 180 to double it again, which puts us up to 256. Otherwise known as $12,000 per second when we let it all go, and we can still buy more double tap power, which will put us well over 512. Still only in the top 40%, but at $24,000 a second, we're gonna get to the top before you know it. So let's go ahead and double the tapping power one more time. It's level 10, so we're making 1,024 every single click. That brings us up to almost $50,000 a second. So to buy that UFO, it's gonna take about 23 seconds, or thanks to the power of editing, this fast. So we're starting to get some islands for sure. We obviously have a long way to go. $14,000 per second, plus the clicking power, there's easily $60,000 every single second. So we made $1 million back in no time at all. Top 40%, and we can double our clicking power again, so let's do that, and 2,048 every click. As fun as it's going to be to buy an intergalactic cow for 10.2 million, I think it's still worth it to buy at least a few UFOs before the pricing isn't worth it. Still no people on my planet, though I suppose there's got to be someone in a sailboat. Long story short, that put us up to about $120,000 a second, so that's getting up there quicker and quicker. And at 10.2 million, we actually get to buy our intergalactic cow, which puts our earnings to the moon, and we have a red tornado. And I'm glad we have that because we're up to $200,000 a second. So the millions are coming easier and easier. We're making $1 million every 5 seconds right now. And good news, not only are we absolutely bombarding this planet with rocks and radiation and space shuttles, we're up to the top 30%. But we're also overdue to upgrade our clicker, so for 10.5 million, we're going to upgrade that twice, $8,000 per click. And we're clicking a lot. $500,000 a second, so every 2 seconds, $1 million. The planet really seems to like that. It just goes absolutely bananas with an auto clicker. Then for only 11.44 million, we can double our tapping power again, which we can afford to do now. Which means we then buy another intergalactic cow, and between all that, that's going to be close to $1 million per second, which is obviously going to get us to where we're going in a hurry. Do you think the cows on this planet are dizzy yet? I think they're probably getting dizzy. This thing is spinning like 1 million times per second, and I love it. And it's time to buy a comet. That's going to put our earnings way up, so we should be well over $1 million, maybe closer to 2 by this point. Well, we'll call it $1.4 million a second, so it was a 40% increase on buying a single thing. It was at this point I bought double tap power again. Now 32,000 per click. Now, do we buy another comet or do we buy double tap power? Let's buy another comet. Just because I can be lazy. It's pretty lazy using an auto clicker, but I want to be extra lazy. Plus, at almost $3 million a second, we're going to make the 41 million we need for clicking power that quickly. And that puts us to over 4 million a second at 65,000 per click. At this point, it definitely looks like double tap power is going to be the one we need to buy for a little bit because it costs $500 million for the asteroid upgrade. But we do click so fast that clicking upgrades are well worth it. I think I clicked on an ad because suddenly we have a lot of money. So we're going to buy an asteroid for $550 million. That put our base earnings up to 5.36 million. Then we can buy double tap power once. So every click alone is $250,000. All in all, $15 million a second. And we're moving up on the leaderboard, 412 spots until we're in the top 30%. And that's obviously very important to me, more clicking power. The next thing is the dwarf planet. That's $5 billion. So I'm actually going to buy another asteroid in the meantime. That still gave us a giant increased earnings, which makes me think I should probably be buying things like comets because these are only $90 million and that's actually quite cheap for us now. Yeah, $30 million a second isn't too bad. We're going to buy a few more comets just because that's very affordable. Then maybe $750,000 on more tapping power, which gives us 1 million per click. And in total, $50 million a second. So 20 seconds is $1 billion. Then let's do 1.5 billion on double clicking power again, 2 million per click. And I just realized we broke into the top 20%. I guess top 30%, we have 1,760 spots to go until the top 20%. But we can now afford a dwarf planet, so that's going to take us from $12 million a second to $52 million a second, so that's 4 times earnings in the background. And the game doesn't seem to be liking the auto clicker anymore. It's kind of pulsing in and out of life. But we are clicking so fast we're making over $100 million a second, so I can understand why it's struggling a little bit. And we get double tap power again, so we're up to 4 million per click. I think that maybe every time we buy a new upgrade we get a new island on the planet. That seems to make sense to me, but I've got something fun to try in just a moment. Before doing anything, we need to double our clicking power again. That brings it up to 8.4 million every single click, otherwise known as $250 million a second, so make $1 billion every 4 seconds, which is unreasonably quick. I intentionally clicked on that ad because it would give us lots of money. We have $75 billion. I want to spend that all on atoms to see if it adds more islands. It does add more islands. Oh, we're gonna get lots of those trees then because I'm gonna spend billions of dollars on these for some reason. There we go, 92. I think that made a difference to our planet. Earnings wise, it probably didn't mean very much. Auto clickers really just make this so much easier. Double tap power again, $17 million every single click. Next is probably going to be pretty important to buy a few more dwarf planets. There's another $80 million per second. So once the clicking actually gets going and stops pulsing, I don't know what it's doing, but $500 million a second is feeling pretty comfortable. It's going to get better, but I'm content so far. Next, we're looking for an ant colony. That's going to add $2 billion a second. And our base rate is 132 million right now, but I've got an idea. If I were to say prestige, I can get right back to where I was, but I have 2 times earnings instead. So we're making over $500 million a second. We're not even quite as far as we were before. But at 2 times earnings, we're going to get to where we're going that much faster. We're currently at 16 million per click. As soon as I buy that, we're going to be at 32 million per click. So we're also going to buy a few moons while on the way to an ant colony. We can buy an entire planet soon to put on our planet for some reason. Aside from that, we're now making $2 billion a second without clicking and $3 billion with clicking. So we can already afford another moon if we want to, and who wouldn't want more moons? And just like that, I've got almost $1 trillion to spend, so I'm going to double my clicking power a lot. $1 billion per click. That's a cool milestone. And we can so very easily afford an ant colony. So that means our earnings are $50 billion a second. So it's only going to take 20 seconds to make $1 trillion. And we've finally done it. We can afford our very own planet. because our current planet isn't good enough. I think we just grew whatever that is, $13.4 trillion. Yes, I think I will. Exoplanet. So not only are we going to get a planet, we're going to get a planet that doesn't count as a planet. $220 billion without the clicking. Oh, I should probably upgrade my clicker. 1, 2, 3 times. Here on this channel, we learn to count together. $8.3 billion per click, so we're up to $600 billion a second. At least until I once again double my clicking power. 17 billion per click, and you know what, we're going to do that one more time, so it's going to be about $35 billion a click. And that's well ahead of the one we started at. We went from $1 per click to 33.32 billion. So $1.5 trillion a second now. We'll buy another exoplanet. That'll hopefully push us closer to 2, because we're going to need 91 trillion for a Star Destroyer. And I've just noticed that our sailboat has turned into like a speedboat. So that was cool. We only had to spend hundreds of trillions of dollars to get a proper speedboat. Oh, and I long since passed the amount I need for a Star Destroyer. 2 Star Destroyers. It's cruel to have only 1 Star Destroyer. Everyone needs a friend. Then I think we're long overdue to buy a few more clicks, so $133 billion per click. You know what? It's much easier math if we upgrade that again. Then it's about $250 billion per click. Every 4 clicks is $1 trillion. And just like that, we have $1.75 quadrillion to spend on a red dwarf star. Maybe 2 of those, along with some more clicking upgrades. And just like that, we're up to $60-70 trillion a second. $1 trillion per click. Okay, we're in the top 20% at this point. We need to move 1,766 spaces upwards to hit the top 10%. Our world rank is 3,500. Obviously, I assume the higher we go, the slower we're going to move up, because there's probably a lot of players currently doing what I'm doing, so I don't know if it's possible to catch them, but we're going to try. They might have skill, but I've got time. Time outweighs all if you just keep doing stuff long enough. Fast food for $4.4 quadrillion. That was a colossal upgrade to our income. Like, that's almost a joke at how big that was. Like, we've almost made enough back now to get another upgrade. And in fact, we can go one further because of a little boost. We're going to buy Einstein for $27 quadrillion. And now we're making $500 quadrillion per second without clicking. So we're going to save up just a little bit of money, and then we're going to upgrade our clicker 2 times, soon to be 3 times. Now every click is $17 trillion. We're getting pretty rich. I mean, we're not talking like real life rich yet, but we'll get there one day. And for good measure, let's do that again. So now every click is worth $70 trillion. Our income is actually $3 quadrillion a second by this point, which is absolutely ridiculous. We can even buy another Einstein. That's going to add $214 trillion per second, otherwise known as just way too much. And for $185 quadrillion, we're going to buy a pulsar, which is 5 times earnings of Einstein. So we're going to buy 2 of those. Look at how beautiful our planet's getting. It's like it was designed by an architect. Definitely wasn't me doing that. Another 2 upgrades to the clicking. So every 4 clicks is now $1 quadrillion. All in 16 quadrillion a second. A planetary nebula is only $926 quadrillion, and that's going to add about 6 times our earnings. Which, yeah, this just gets stupider and stupider as it goes. And we're long overdue for some tapping power, so we're going to go from level 47 to 51. 4 times the increase. $4.3 quadrillion per click. These numbers are going to get really, really big. We still got a long ways to go. Okay, we're world rank 3001 right now. Pretty soon that should drop to below 3000. There it is. We're officially in the top 3000. I don't know how this happened, but we skipped right over alien. I forgot we didn't buy one, so I'm going to buy a star before buying an alien. Then I'm also going to buy an alien because it'd be stupid not to. So now we're up to about $500 quintillion per second, which is a lot. That's a number we can't even fathom. But while we're at it, we're going to get another 1 level on the clicker. So that's 8.7 quadrillion by itself. The leaderboard's really slowed down. We're below 2800th world rank, but we've only moved up 220 spots the past few minutes. So I'm going to use some extra boosts to double our income for a little while to hopefully climb up just a little bit on that leaderboard. All the while, our planet is getting bigger and bigger from sucking in all the space garbage. I almost did it again where I skipped over. I almost skipped over Pizza Planet, and that's so important to us all. We're going to buy 2. And a few more clicking upgrades. Now we're up to $750 quintillion per click. The planet is also getting reasonably full. Eventually there won't be any water left. It'll just be bombardments of hamburgers and spacecrafts. Oh, we can already afford a red giant, so that's going to make our income go like 5 times higher again. But we clearly need more quick clicking power, so another 2 of those is actually a giant upgrade. Now every 5 seconds we make $1 sextillion, which is good because now we can afford a deadly virus, which is just what our planet needs. So our income has gone up quite a bit once again. So on top of that, I think we're going to need 2 more clicking upgrades. Then we're ready for rose-colored glasses, which is how I look at my beautiful little planet. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I like how next is a simple supernova, which seems like it would have something to do with space, but then comes German beer, which probably has less to do with space. But the only way to know for sure is to click on them, so when supernova, which puts our earnings to absolutely bananas, Bill. We're already up to $4 sextillion a second. And then one little boost later, German beer. But that's also known as 12 sextillion dollars a second. Starting to make some movement on the leaderboard again. 600 places to go until we're in the top 10%. We need more clicking. Almost $1 sextillion per click now too. So 43 sextillion per click per second.
There's so much clicking going on, I'm getting so excited I can't even talk anymore.
Yeah, one more double tap power. 3.4 sextillion per second now. This is getting dumber and dumber as we go, and I love every bit of it. Like, we can already afford another buy. So what does it even say now? I'm getting tired, so I can't read. $7 sextillion every single second of our lives. Oh, plus we're going to double that again. So about 14. Then by the time I even scroll down to the quantum computer, we can afford it. And like 10 seconds after that, I can afford an astronaut, which is technically another human. So we're up to about almost $1 septillion a second at this point, which means we need to upgrade double tap power 2 more times. We'll go for a third too, because it's only going to take half a second to get there. And there it is. You know what? We're doing so much clicking. I might as well just live out double tap power. I probably could. I don't even need the other stuff. But I kind of want it because big numbers are fun. So the elliptical galaxy, we're buying entire galaxies at this point, only costs 43 septillion. We're going to make that in like a few seconds. We could buy as many galaxies as we want, really. But we'll start with one. Oh, and they have a better galaxy coming up, a spiral galaxy. We just got to buy a music box first for some reason. But that could definitely be done. $174 septillion well spent. Then I assume we can afford some more clicking upgrades, so we're going to do that once, probably twice more. So now we're up to 300 sextillion per click, or about $13 septillion a second overall. Plus a bad little booster to double that, now we're at $27 septillion a second. And we're sucking in all sorts of big new stuff. And we can afford our spiral galaxy now, $1.4 octillion well spent. And after another booster, $75 septillion a second. Absolutely ridiculous. So even more clicking power, we're going to upgrade that twice. 3.5 septillion every click. At least until we upgrade it once, maybe even twice more. The upgrades really aren't that expensive yet. I really like how cheap they are in this one. There's 3.3 octillion we need, so we need $7 octillion. That's going to take us like 14 seconds, not even to get to. And our money really does come from that clicking. Well, it comes from auto clicking. But I like being lazy like that. The game plays itself. I just sit back and watch. Okay, we're over $1 octillion a second. We're at 1.1 octillion. So to make $13 octillion, it takes less than 13 seconds, and we double our clicking power again. So now we make $2.25 octillion a second, so it'll take us basically 10 seconds to get the next clicking upgrade. And now it's going to take us like 18 seconds to get what we need. So at this rate, we actually probably could milk this for a few more upgrades and it would be well worth it. Because clicking on this one, what do we have per click? $225 septillion. Plus, we're about to break into the top 2,000. We're getting pretty close to the top 10%. But we did note when we hit the top 3,000, so top 2,000, right there. Double tap power once, and the next one's coming up very quickly too. $17 octillion per second, so it's going to take us 15 seconds to get what we need for more double tap power. That seems to be almost pretty constant, the ratio there. So the more we upgrade our clicker, the more we make to upgrade the clicker again. Yeah, like the ratio seems to be almost locked into itself. It doesn't grow as we need more upgrades. So we can just keep doing this. We need $1.8 million. We're making $1.3 octillion a second, 130 octillion dollars a second. So yeah, 15 seconds. I don't even know what we can afford for upgrades anymore, but it's probably a lot of them. Every click is now worth $14 octillion. Plus, every time we click on some of those things, it gives us a giant upgrade to income. It's only 83 positions until top 10%. Very exciting. We can click on that some more. We're up to $60 octillion per click. This one's going to cost $30 million, but that's perfectly affordable for us, considering we're now making $4 million a second. And I yet again upgrade. Whoops, accidentally bought an atom. Well, that gave us an extra 1 per second. I think this will be our last one before our bonus runs out, but that's still $461 octillion a second. Basically, half a nonillion every second just from clicking. Sorry, that's incorrect. Half a nonillion every click. There's tons of nonillions per second. So let's go back down our list of the upgrades we've been ignoring for a while. So I could buy friendship for 8.36 octillion. We can afford that. We can afford the Shaolin Monk for 33. I want this bonus. Hey, we're almost at the bottom. Actually, we are at the bottom. The Big Bang for 262 nonillion. I got so carried away, I went right past the highest upgrade, which isn't really a surprise. 16 spaces until the top 10. 15 spaces until the top 10. We're getting closer. 13. Okay, let me see if I can do this with the auto clicker. I'll buy both of those just for fun. The earnings are going to help. It's going to get more and more competitive as we get closer to the #1 spot. Okay, I put my booster back on to hopefully get us there a little bit quicker, and started to do the pulsey thing again, 11 spots until the top 10%. It's crazy to think how ridiculously tryhard I'm being for a game like this, and I can't even make it to the top 10%. Well, I will momentarily, but it's really hard to do this. And this is the top 10% of a game that only has like 16,000 players. Okay, we got 3 spaces until the top 10. I don't know if it's based on earnings or what. Like if I buy this, do this ad thing, it might work. And it looks like it did, where you're in the top 10%. We're officially 1789th best player in the world. The best way for me to get earnings at this point is to buy extra clicking power, because we click so quickly, we could actually maybe fudge the system a little bit with clicking power. So every time we do this, our clicking power actually doubles, so that's $10 million a second, which is pretty big as far as even clicker games are concerned. Correction, that's 10 million per click. It's actually $400 million a second, which is even stupider. Then if we double that power again, that's only going to go up. That puts us up to $800 million a second. I've gone so high in the numbers, it's simply become an A. I have got 1.25 pink A's. Now when I want an upgrade, it's going to cost 1.25 pink A's just to be able to afford it, which will happen right now. And we'll just keep on making more and more money. The money's getting so stupid now that we're making 2.2 pink A's per second, which I'm pretty sure is a decillion, 2.3 decillion dollars per second. And that's not including the constant upgrades we're buying. And that still, unbelievably, only puts us in the top 1500, not even. We're just about to break that. But since every time we buy something, it adds an island, let's spend 69 pink A's, $69 million on atoms. Hopefully that adds some nice stuff to our planet. We really need the help. And so far we bought about 250 levels, 300 levels of that. Wow, this really is a lot of money. We bought 407 levels of atoms. I wasn't really watching a planet when we did that though. Did it change? Is it better or is it worse? Maybe we'll do the same with molecules. I'm not really seeing a change though. Stuff's flying into it, but stuff's always flying into it. Well, I don't know. It looks a little better. The important thing is we're making $10 million a second, and I'm pretty happy with that. That's a lot of zeros, and we all love zeros.